welcome to Sips with Scrubs, a nurse podcast where we talk about the good, bad, and ugly of being a nurse. Today we are joined with my twisted sister, one of the scrubs, one of the girls, Sydney. So y'all might have seen her on a previous episode with the girls or some of the vlogs, but this is our first time having it like just us two. So I want to welcome Sydney.
Round of applause.
So this episode actually is going to release way past Halloween, but for those who are listening, it's Halloween today, so we're drinking a Halloween sangria. So I think I mentioned this to you. I didn't know that Total Wine had cocktail recipes.
Really?
Yes, on the main page, if you scroll down, they have cocktail recipes and they have them for like different occasions.
I didn't know that.
Me either. So that's where I got this from. That's how it was so many that I sent you. It was like 10 of them that were Halloween related.
Yeah, I know. It took me a good 20 minutes to try to figure out which one I wanted.
I thought you were going to pick, not Witch's Brew. It was another one. I was like, oh, I think Sydney might pick that one. But I like sangria. So hopefully this one tastes good. So I'm going to put I lied. The instructions will be on Instagram. But basically, it's a bottle of red wine, some brandy. They have orange and lemons in here, sugar, club soda, and a dash of grenadine. So if you're interested in learning how to do the cocktail, it'll be on the Sips with Scrub Instagram page. So we're going to try it out now and see how it is. Okay.
It's good. Not a fan of the pulp, but you know.
I know. So I'm not a fan of pulp at all. So I was telling Sydney this before. I'm like, how does this always happen to me when I'm making the cocktails for our episodes? It's always pulp. Well, the last one was horrible. This one's a little bit better. And I was going to try to strain it, but I think part of the reason is that they wanted you to chill it overnight. So it's sat in there for a while. And I think some of it got broken up. So, yeah, I'm not a fan either. But it's not as bad as last time, so I think it's a little bit tolerable.
We're not chewing our drinks.
Oh my God, that was horrible. So we're going to move into Bad Scrubs. So Bad Scrubs is a segment where we go over nurses who were criminally charged for doing bad things to patients, basically. So this one is actually not one nurse in particular. It's like the hospital ER. Like they were under investigation. So I'm going to read to y'all what the investigation led, but just a little background, like a summation. Basically, a patient died waiting in the ER lobby at a hospital. So that's what happened.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
Yes, they didn't identify like any of the people involved or like the patient name or anything, but they were under investigation. So this happened like kind of recently. So I think it'll be like a little bit later where we'll get all the details surrounding like who did what.
The real tea.
You're right, like who did what and how that happened. So, okay, so the investigation revealed a 77-year-old female, like they're calling her patient 7 on this article. She came to the facility's emergency department of June of 2022 for complaints. Oh, the times are important because, you know, depending on how they acted. So she came at 8:31 at night. So she came in for complaints of vomiting, weakness, unable to stand, fever at home, and had a history of rectal cancer receiving chemotherapy. So triage vital signs revealed a blood pressure of 87/53, heart rate 67, respiratory rate 30, temperature 98.4 at 20:43. Okay, so they got the vital signs like within 10 minutes of her being there. Findings revealed patient number 7 was as triage emergency severity level index 3. So she's considered to be urgent. So they repeated the blood pressure at 2106. So that's like what, 15 minutes later?
15 minutes later, yeah.
It was 118/55. The patient was then placed in the ED waiting room. Findings revealed patient number 7 was not reassessed per facility triage policy. Findings revealed the next documental injury in patient number 7 medical record was on June 7th, 2022. So the first one happened at June 6th at 2031. So this is the next day, June 7th at 2 o'clock.
And she's still in ED, right?
Yeah. Last set of vitals was at 2106. So now this is the next day at 2 in the morning. So they said that's been 4 hours and 54 minutes after the last blood pressure and 5 hours and 29 minutes after arrival.
I mean, technically, her blood pressure wasn't. The first time it was taken, it was pretty low. But the
Right.
second time it was taken, I mean, we see a lot of blood pressures that are about those numbers.
Yeah, so far it's fine. I think the point right now is just that she wasn't reassessed per the
Yeah.
facility's policy
Gotcha.
right now. So after we're at 2 o'clock in the morning on June 7th, Code Blue spiritual care provider were at the bedside at 2:04. So some shit must have went down in the little 4 minutes. The patient was pronounced deceased at 4:25 after discussion with family to withdraw life support measures. So they says that the patient coded in the waiting room, but they were unable to reestablish a pulse after what happened. So her time of death was not pronounced until she'd been seen by a provider, which we know that to be accurate. So let's see what else they have. They said that they interviewed an EMT and they revealed that the patient family member was asking for help in the waiting room. The husband was trying to wake her up and she was not responding. So the EMT went to assist and the patient was unresponsive. And then that's when the code blue was called.
I mean, I don't really see a whole lot of legible reason for the family to try to take action against the hospital.
I guess the main thing is just that, like I said before, that they were saying that whatever that facility's triage policy was, they didn't adhere to it. Because normally, well, on the floor, we do get vitals like every 4 hours. But I know down in the ED, they kind of do theirs more regularly, especially if they're like in a room. They do it like every hour.
Yeah, well,
because they're hooked up to the machine.
On the dash monitor. So
yeah.
I guess the waiting room, if they're in the waiting room,
that's the lobby.
Yeah.
So they're not being, I guess they're just there, ain't nobody coming by to see how they're doing, to update whatever. I can see that happening. But at that point, at 9 o'clock, she looking like she all right because her vitals were fine. And what was she complaining of?
It was
nausea, vomiting. Okay, fever.
But she didn't have a fever. Her blood pressure.
Oh well, fever at home. Fever at home.
Okay.
Okay, before she came in.
But she still had her blood pressure was slightly off when they first checked it. It was a little low. But then when they rechecked it 15 minutes later, it bounced back to 101 over 50
yeah, 118 or something like that. I think the main thing again is just that whatever their facility policy is, they didn't adhere to it. But aside from that, I didn't actually see too much wrong with what was done.
There's no nothing wrong that was negligent or patient care wise that was bad, because
I think I guess the main thing too is also that it just happened in the waiting room, so it kind of looks bad, like she wasn't even in a room or anything.
See, and that's the shitty part about the ER is you literally, like, when I was at work last week, I went downstairs to go get food, and there were people sitting in imaging. Like,
dang.
It was so backed up, and I was like, all right, thank God we are full, ain't nobody leaving today.
Yeah, I think that was, and another thing that they had said, I think they decided to investigate just because it happened, where it happened at, not because anything necessarily went wrong. But also, I was reading
make a point type thing,
right? Not also was reading that facility was short like 400 nurses. So I think that was the main thing too. That they were like, there's not enough staff, and because of that,
now that's why people dying unnecessarily because you don't want, or we can't get anyone to work.
Basically, so. By the time y'all hear this, something probably would have come of it. So y'all let us know what the update is regarding that case. Let me see what hospital that was at. And also, when I was looking at this hospital, that wasn't like the first incident they had where somebody like died. Like it was some other stuff I was seeing. I was like, dang, y'all don't need to work here. So
that's probably why they're short 400 nurses.
Nobody wants to work there.
Nobody wants to work there.
Might need to close. I don't know. So it says Novant Health New Hanover Regional Medical Center. So NHRMC is their little abbreviation. So y'all let us know in the comments what the new thing is with that. Because by the time y'all see that, something probably has happened where more things are revealed through their investigation. They probably go be getting names like this.
Oh, so-and-so was working at this time. Oh, look, so-and-so charted on this patient at this time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This is why we can't be nosy and start going through charts.
I know. Be like, what happened? Jeez. So next, I want to get into this advice question. So this pertains to something that we firsthand experienced. So I wanted you to give your advice and your commentary on this. So it says real life scenario. We have this DNI patient, and the man starts to choke on mashed potatoes. I know, sounds crazy. Do we watch him choke or do we save him?
Well, you pat him on the back, but you
That's
don't.
kind of funny to ask. Do we watch him choke?
I mean, technically, he's not like actively coding. I don't know. That's kind of like a gray area because, I mean, just knock him on the back a few times.
I'm like, you're there watching the man choke. You're not just gonna let him die.
No.
Like, yes, do something. I think it's to the point where like, okay, if he already has choked and you walked in the room and he's unresponsive, then you wouldn't do it. Yeah, then you wouldn't do anything.
Then let Grandpa go.
But I'm like, if you just watching the guy choke in front of you, like,
see, I'm a gray. I'm on the death side of the group, but even that's a little dark for me.
We're not just about to watch Grandpa. Yeah, I'm like, we're just not about to watch Grandpa choking right in front of us.
No. Now, if you start doing compressions in front of me, I'm walking out the room. I'm leaving.
So I brought that up because we've had a lot of incidents with DNI patients where people don't
pay attention.
They do not know. They're like, oh, I didn't know he were DNI. They're trying to start action. And it's like, no.
But you've had this patient for the better part of 11 and a half hours and you're just figuring out that they are DNI.
I feel like that's one of the first things you need to look at when you get a patient.
Especially when you've had the patient multiple nights already.
Okay, at that point, it's inexcusable. But I feel like one of the first things you do when you get a patient is you see what the code status is, because anything can happen at any time, especially like even at the beginning of the shift, and you're still responsible for knowing that. You can't just be like, oh, they didn't tell me.
I mean, that's the first thing you should look at. All right. I mean, we get there. What's the first thing we do? We all go sit at a computer.
Yeah.
Figure out who our people are, and then we're like, all right, we're touching that person. We're leaving that one alone today.
Yeah, that's one of the first things I do. I like highlight it because at our report sheet is at the top right of the page. If you see it says see details, then you need to see those details.
Yeah, you need to look at that. And especially if they're actively dying, like that's something I really want to know, because I don't want to walk into a patient's room and have all this family just like over the person, just crying and boohooing, and I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna come check on you. How are you? I'm doing my hourly rounding. I just want to see where your blood pressure is. Oh, 12/5. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, you just need to know what's going on, because that could be a mess. It's like, well, why are they doing that? Because especially if like they end up being in hospice or something, like you're not doing vitals like that. You're just like making sure, are they comfortable? Okay. But we've seen things, so that's why I wanted to get her opinion on that. So if you see somebody actively choking, they're not there yet, then
they're just kind of coughing a little bit.
You need to help them out.
Just help them out.
Even if it's like, I don't like how they do that, because sometimes when people are DNI, they like try to, I don't want to say withdraw care, but kind of, it's like, but you wouldn't do that for a normal person.
They get lazy.
Yeah, I feel like it has to get to the point where literally the pulse is gone, or they're unresponsive with stuff like that before you like don't do anything. But everything up until that point, you do everything just like you would for every other patient.
See, and I think that's why a lot, like especially a lot of the nurses that we've worked with, that they see that DNI, they're just like, oh,
yeah, like leave them
and they're
alone.
like asking for pain meds. I'm like, no, they're not actively dying. Like they're
in the event.
They're in the event. Like if something happens,
right? I don't want all that stuff.
I don't want it all. But they look at it like, oh, they're actively dying.
Yeah.
Even though it's like the 42-year-old that was DNI. But I don't remember what he had.
I think, was he a cancer patient, I think?
No, that was the other one.
Okay.
He was a younger guy. He had MS.
Okay.
He had MS, and he was just like, all right, his MS was acting up. He's like, I just want, something for the pain to try to make me feel a little bit better so I can get up and just start walking and doing things that I need to do. And one of our favorite people
we have a lot of favorite
was
people.
his nurse. And she was just like, oh, I'll get to him later. I'll get to him later. I'll get to him later. And I'm like,
Yeah,
well,
they're still a patient. They still need to be treated.
it's been 3 hours. Because now I'm getting yelled at because you don't want to give him the medicine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because it will fall back on y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. So I think that's a good thing, a good way to think of it. The DNR, DNI is like in the event of not...
oh, you have this, so I'm just not going to take care of you.
Right, yeah. A lot of nurses get that confused, unfortunately, which is also another reason why a lot of people don't like to change their code status, because they're like, oh, they're just not going to take care of me. Same thing with organ donation. Like, people have a lot of skepticism around that too.
I'm an organ donor.
I am too. We need to... I'll be telling myself that. I'm like, I need to take care of my body so I can have something worth donating.
People don't want my... You're going to get my eyes. That's about it. My liver, shot.
My fatty heart and all this other stuff. Yeah. Get my skin.
Yeah, basically.
So we're going to kind of do like a rapid fire. And I want you to tell me your first thoughts of these type of nurses that work in these different departments.
Oh, God.
I know it's going to be funny. Are you ready?
All right, let's go.
Okay, ER. First thoughts of the nurses.
They see they got a bed. All right, we're calling. Call report right now.
I've been working in the ER lately, and I do kind of understand now, like some of the stuff that they do. I'm everywhere really is short.
Oh yeah,
but
no.
I'm like,
damn, they like. I was sitting at the desk for Sashina. Actually, I have a story to tell you about the other day too. So I was sitting at, or I'll get to that after. But I was sitting at the desk for Sashina. I literally like refreshed the page. There was a room that popped up, and ER was already calling. I was like, damn.
Yeah, they try to move them out. Because the people who are waiting in the lobby are going to move into the room where the person is.
Oh, I mean, I get it.
Yeah, you know. But some people are like, dang. I'm like, I kind of understand now how the flow goes. I think what would help more is if more ERs have a holding area. Because at one of the other locations I work at, they actually have ER holding nurses. And they do more of the floor work. So they won't send up the patient dirty and all these other things.
Because that's a hot ass mess.
Yeah, and I'm kind of like, you smell your person. Like, clean that shit up, but at the same time, it's like, okay, if I got a stroke patient, I got a heart attack patient, I got somebody
coding right now.
Yeah, coding, sepsis. It's like that's the least of my worries. So I think that would actually help out more is if there's like at least like 2 nurses or something down there that are holding, and they could take care of that sort of stuff.
Throw a couple more techs down there because I know
I think so
got
too.
Like 3 techs.
Yeah.
And they run that entire ER and they're doing lines and everything.
Yeah, so. Literally. Yeah, so I think that would be more beneficial and that would help the process of getting onto the floor better too. Also, when I was down there the other day at this facility, they had an admission nurse down in the ER. So they were going by and doing the admissions. That makes it way smoother transition to the floor.
Because you're not trying to figure out, okay, he has like 7 medications he's on. The daughter doesn't know what they are, but there's 7 medications. There's like, I think he said 1 is for heart. You got this one for this, but he doesn't know any of the names of them. So then y'all are kind of like sitting ducks when y'all get upstairs and we're like, oh.
Okay, but I do have a bone to pick with ER nurses though. Y'all need to do y'all lactic acids and troponins on time because the test at that point is null and void. You do know this, right? The heart enzymes go down after a certain amount of time. So that means you need to do them on time so we can know. No?
I look because I hear all of y'all talking shit about this literally every single day.
I'm like at 8 o'clock. First troponins at 8, and then you do the next one like at 2 in the morning. What? Like, how did all this time go by?
It's like
what happened? Our troponin is an important test. And the thing about it is that kills me is that most of the time they're getting it from the IV anyway. So how long does that really take to do?
30 seconds.
I would rather you do that than clean up the patient, to be honest. Because now the test is not accurate and we really don't know what's going on.
And now you have to redraw it and they're going to be pissed off because they get to get poked.
By the time they come up to the floor, the IV is not working like that anymore where you could just draw blood from it. Sometimes they do, but sometimes they don't. Then they're like, oh, why are you drawing more blood on me? What's going on? Well, this test actually was supposed to be done
6 hours ago.
But, I mean, here we are. So at that point, I'm kind of like, do we still have to do it if it doesn't count? But I do it anyway. But I'm just kind of like, it says every 3 hours. It's been doubled that.
It's been 6 hours, but that's fine.
But the reason why I do it is because I was talking to one of the holding nurses the last time I worked, and they said that when they rechecked it, it was like almost like it was like so many hours, like maybe 8 or something crazy like that. When they rechecked it, it was like the troponin was like 300 and something.
Oh.
So they were like, just do it anyway because you never know.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's fair, but I'm just like, y'all got to do better with that. ER nurses, I'm talking to you. Love y'all though. Y'all cool.
But shit, come on.
We got to do it better. Okay, first thoughts. Med-surg nurses.
Crazy. Crazy.
I don't know. Some people be too flustered all over the place, and then
that's why, because I can't justify lazy or.
That was to say they're two extremes. Yeah,
literally, you got the slow grandmas and grandpas, or you got the ones that they have 3 patients for the day, but you think they have 5 with the way they're running around.
Facts. You're like, what?
And then they don't chart until freaking the end of shift, and then they're freaking out because I have incidental overtime. I gotta get out of here, but I need to chart. I'm like, well,
should have time managed better. Med-surg is not for you if you cannot time manage.
No, like you don't have to get all the checks on your brain done right now. Just do a little bit. All right, chart a little bit. Do a little bit. Chart a little bit. It makes it easier.
I agree. Okay, first thoughts, L&D nurses. I have my opinion about them. I feel like they're like catty. And like kind of like mean girls.
Yeah, they're the younger girls. Or they're either super young and just starting out their nursing career, or they've been on this boat for 40 plus years now.
Right, I do agree with that analysis.
And they don't mix together.
I just feel like they're like catty and like I just said, mean girl, like like kind of like bougie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, you need your epidural? Okay. Because speaking from experience, the nurse I had 2 nurses. So when my first nurse I had, she was Nigerian. She was the sweetest freaking lady. I wish I could remember your name because you were awesome. I loved her. And then the girl I had the next day, she was probably about my age, and she was just like, "Oh, you want me to take your baby to the nursery?" I'm like, well, considering she is going to NICU, yeah, that would be ideal. Can you help me out? Because I don't know what to do. She's like, okay, I guess.
That's the attitude I think of when I think of L&D nurses. No shade. It's all facts. From my experience. That was part of the reason why I didn't want to work that department amongst other things. They seem like cliquey.
Very. Very.
Okay, first thoughts, ICU.
They got their shit together.
Organized. They know everything about the patient. Everything. Too detailed sometimes.
Their favorite color.
Sometimes too detailed.
Their favorite food.
Especially when they're trying to downgrade them. I'm like, ma'am, I don't need to know all of that. What are they here for? Where's the IV? Can they walk? Can they talk? Can they swallow? Bet.
Do they have a trach? Do they have this? Do they have that? That's all.
Yeah, ICU nurses will be like, in 2005, they had a scar on their right leg. I'm like,
and then they got the tattoo on their right buttock removed.
I'm like, I don't care. But y'all cool though. Y'all get y'all shit done. But they really don't have a choice.
No.
First thoughts, PED nurses. I feel like
this silly
bubbly.
People,
I was gonna say fun, bubbly.
Oh, they get to wear any type of uniform.
Happy. Can you imagine a mean peds nurse?
No.
Like, you can't be mean and be a peds nurse. No. I feel like you have to be fun and bubbly.
I would cry as a peds nurse every single day. I would cry every single day.
I couldn't do it.
You know, I'm not a crier.
Yeah.
No, I would cry every single day.
We have a soft spot for the kids.
This the babies.
For the babies.
The oncology kids. Oh.
I know.
No, the adults, I don't care.
Yeah, we're like neutral.
It's like, eh.
You want your meds? Okay.
No. All right, cool. I'll see you later.
Bye. Okay. One more little icebreaker game, and then we're going to get into the bulk of the episode. So it's kind of funny because I think for all of these I was guilty, but I can't remember. So this one is guilty or innocent. And so we're going to tell them if we're guilty or innocent. You've tuned out a patient that was talking to you.
Guilty.
I'm guilty.
all the time.
They talk a lot sometimes, and you want to seem like you care, but you really
But
don't.
you got 700 other things to do, and you just gotta.
Like, all right, I'll see you again in another hour. Do you need anything before I go? Bye.
Bye. And you pray and please say no. Please say no.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
Sometimes when you like trying to just go in and check them real quick because you have something else to do, and they say, oh, well, actually, can you do? I'm
It's
like,
no. It's like, yeah, sure.
I have all the time in the world. My pleasure. Like,
See, I think I'm the only one that doesn't say my pleasure.
I'm starting to incorporate in my language now. I'm doing a lot better at that. I'd be like,
I'm not.
you're welcome, my pleasure.
I'm like, yeah, no worries. Thanks. No problem.
I'm a lot happier now with my new job because I have like days off in between. So I have like a way better attitude when I go to work.
See, I just had 5 days off. I go back tomorrow. So
See, I go back tomorrow too for one. So I was off 3 days. I'll go back tomorrow and then I'm off again for 2 more.
Oh.
So tomorrow will be a good day for me.
Yeah, see, I go back tomorrow for 3 days, but tomorrow's my overtime day, so I really can't get mad at tomorrow.
Do y'all get the extra bonus?
I'm not sure.
I feel like y'all should. I don't like when they do that.
No. That's one thing about our hospital that is little.
They need to do better with that sort of things. Okay, guilty or innocent? You've taken your lunch break for longer than 30 minutes.
Oh, absolutely.
Guilty.
You should see when it's us two
I'm guilty.
and Nama and Susan and Vivian working together, which is like, that's a unicorn effect. That doesn't happen very
Team
often.
A.
Literally. But when it does, we are in that break room for a good 40 plus minutes.
The thing is, I've already rounded on my patients before I went on break. Mm-hmm. So if they do call, I'll go see what they need. But most of the time they don't call. So I'll just stay in there because it sounds...
It's just like the same as sitting at the desk.
I'm about to say, it sounds bad, but when you're sitting at the computer and you've already checked on your patients and you've already charted and already passed all the meds and done all the things, sometimes there are times where you're not doing anything.
Literally. And we're snacky people. Our group is very snacky. We love to eat.
Oh, yeah, we do. We
get in trouble. Me and Lainey have gotten in trouble multiple times.
Oh, for eating at the nurse's station. I don't agree with that because I'm like, don't you want me to survive? Like, I feel like if my patients aren't complaining, then there should be nothing to talk about.
Like, I have enough of those superstar awards or whatever the hell Lisa calls them.
Oh. I feel like if my patients are good, they're not complaining, no call-outs are going off, leave me alone. I'm like, leave me alone. I've already charted. Meds are passed. What do you want me to do? Mm-hmm. That's how I feel. I've already asked them if they wanted baths in the beginning of the shift. They said no. I'm not going to ask again.
No.
I don't know. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about that. But we're just speaking facts. It's true. Don't try to act like this ain't true.
No, and I'm not going to promise you, oh, you want a bath? Okay, I promise it's going to happen. No, especially when there's 2 of us, I'm going to say, okay, I will try to get to it.
Yeah, I do my best, especially if I know that they want one. I'll try to knock it out towards the beginning of the shift. Mm-hmm. But sometimes, most of the time, sometimes afternoon, because that's when stuff slows down. So it really just depends. Most of the time, I think I get to all my patients who want them. But
yeah, and especially if they're walkie-talkie, I'm like, here's
your stuff. Yeah, I bring that linen in so quick.
I've never changed a bed faster in my life.
Yeah, I'm like, you go in there and take a shower. I'm going to change your linen while you're doing that. And then by the time that's done, sometimes they're done. So I'm like, cool, bitch.
Yeah. Unless they're like, I just want to chill here, bro. Go on.
Right. So, yeah, definitely been guilty of taking a longer lunch break. But that's only if my patients are fine. Yeah. And I literally would just go out and sit at the desk anyways. So it's like, okay, what's the point?
And we normally take our breaks in between
Yeah,
time.
We take it like later, like 1, 2 o'clock. So
nothing is really due until about 4:30, 5 o'clock anyways.
Yeah. So guilty or innocent? You've hidden in an empty room during your shift.
Oh, guilty.
I've done that before.
Guilty.
Yeah.
Hello, supply closet.
Sometimes when people see you sitting out there, they feel like that you're available. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, just because all my stuff is done doesn't mean I want to help you today.
No. Or the patients come out and I will sit.
Oh, yes. I forgot about that. When family members come out.
And then this random family member comes out. Oh, can you help?
I'm like,
I don't know anything about you, sir.
I don't know who you are.
Let me find out first.
Yeah.
And then I can
I'm like, what room are you in? I'm like, they start talking to you like you know them.
Like
and you're supposed to know them.
Days.
Yeah, I'm like, who are you? What room are you from? I'm like, okay, that's not my patient, but I can look it up and see. Let me call your nurse for you. Sometimes if it's little stuff, I'll do it. But like I said, too many people bother you if you're just out there. So
Yes.
sometimes I just like remove myself from that situation and go in a room.
Exactly.
Doctors too.
Mm-hmm.
Doctors will
Dr.
be
Kessa.
like, "Hey, this patient, da 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 da." I'm like, I don't have that patient. First of all, sometimes I don't even know who they are. I'm
No.
like, who are you? What specialty are you with?
Oh, I'm with.
Then I find out that you don't even have my patient anyway. So I just be like, well, all right
I've
then.
never met you before in my life.
Mm-mm. Okay, last one. Guilty or innocent? You've come to work later than 7.
Oh, guilty.
That one I'm innocent on. I'm pretty sure
I'm
I've
so.
always come to work on time.
Nope. I have. I've had our manager call us once, or call me once one
Didn't I
morning.
call you one time?
Oh
Or no,
yeah.
that was Susan. I
No,
think
it
I
was Susan.
called. It was
Yes.
Susan. I'm like, where are
Me and
you?
Susan, we're gonna be there. It may just be, a few minutes later, but I
Oh
remember.
yeah, one time you did get there a little bit later.
Uh huh.
But the thing is, if you're gonna come later, then you need to start right away.
Mhm.
Don't be doing all this extra stuff,
It's like,
girl.
oh, I need to do this. No, you're already an hour late.
Yeah,
Come
you
on.
don't need to do anything.
If I'm gonna be an hour late, I'm literally throwing my shit on the closest desk, and I'm like, all right, guys, I'm here now.
You need to get my
Sorry.
vitals and my blood sugars. What are you doing? If I've already not gotten them, because that could be true too.
Yes.
It could already be done. Okay, so our main topic for today, since it is Halloween, is about the grossest slash
Haha.
scariest things that we've seen while working. So you want to kick us off?
Yes. Okay, so this is like a little story. I used to work trauma, and I worked at Herman downtown, and it was night shift. I was like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning,
Mm,
and me and my secretary were like, all right, we're gonna go get coffee because we had a 24-hour gift shop. So we just went
mm.
over there. I was like, cool, I'm gonna get my drink. Or it was a little cafe. And we would go over there, I'm gonna get my coffee, kind of deal with myself for the rest of this evening because I'm tired.
Yeah.
Tell me why we saw like two patients just walking the hallways in patient gowns, and we're like, hey, are y'all good?
You're lost?
You're lost? And then they just kept walking. We're like, okay,
Yeah,
it's
thinking
a
nothing of
Spanish
it.
speaking dominant area, so we're like, all right, cool.
I'm kind of like, are they real? Okay, continue.
Yeah, no. I wasn't thinking. I was just like, oh shit, we're gonna have to deal with these people. Are you good? Yeah, no, they were fine. Cause we came back and there was a security officer and I don't know, like I think it was HPD that was actually there.
Mm-hmm.
And they had complaints about people roaming the hall. And I was like,
Mm.
oh yeah, we saw these two patients, or this patient and his family member walking by.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, we've had people complain about it and complain about it and complain about it. So we were just trying to, see where they're from. Yeah, tell me why they found someone hanging in one of the empty like supply rooms that happened to be open.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, freaked me out. I was like,
What the?
oh yeah, hey. See, I was like thinking, oh, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. There's weird things walking around. There's random people because we were right next to ER.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not feasible for people to just walk away. Yeah, no, this was a psych patient that had ran away from his whatever it is, his sitter.
Oh, like his facility.
Yep, and offed himself
Oh
in
my
a closet
goodness.
with I don't even know what it was, but I was just like,
Yeah, that's horrible.
that's great.
Mm-mm.
That's creepy.
Very much so, because especially when you're not expecting to walk in on that, and at that time,
Yeah,
that's
2 o'clock in the morning.
scary.
And they say 3 o'clock is like the devil's hour. Or
I'm
something.
like, things always happen between like the hours I feel like of 2 and 4, and then right at shift change, a lot of people die. So I had a scary situation where I had like this 6-foot patient with dementia. So for those who don't know me, I'm very short. I'm like 5 feet. So I'm like, all of those like psych patients, I'm like, I know how to get along with them, but I'm like always having an eye on them.
Because
Like
they
the
get superhuman strength
Cause
for no reason.
you never know how they're gonna like what's gonna trigger them to flip. Like we're cool now, and the next time I come in there, like oh now we're not friends anymore. So I just be keeping an eye on them because I'm like I don't know what you gonna do.
Joe Bob pissed them off somehow.
Right? Are you to think I'm somebody else? So
Mm-hmm.
this guy, he was an older black man. He was like 6 feet tall. Cause I remember I like looking up to him like that. And when I gotta break my neck, I'm like, okay, you're like 6 feet. So his daughter, I think, was there during the daytime, and this is when I was working nights. So I was trying to like reorient him, not to be like, oh, this is where you are, because sometimes you shouldn't do that because it's just gonna like
It's gonna cause more issues and more problems.
yeah, so sometimes I'm just like, okay, or whatever, like stay in bed because I'm not about to keep running in here.
Exactly.
Yeah, so he was doing, I think he kept trying to get out and move and do this and do that. And then he kind of like walked up on me one time and I was like, whoa.
Well, Mr. Bob.
You need to go lay down, like, cause I'm like, I'm gonna have to fight this man. Like, what's gonna happen? Cause I'm like, don't put your hands on me. It's gonna be real problems going on in here. But the door was always open to that room, so I'm like backing out, and he's like walking up on me, and my charge nurse was like, do we need to call security? I think we ended up calling his daughter, and she was able to calm him down. But I'm not scared a lot. But that time I was like on edge because I was like, how is this about to go?
You are a lot bigger than me, sir.
Yeah, I was like, this could go one or two ways. And I'm like, if it go the second way, Jordan's going to quit my job for me. So I was like, please get back in bed, sir.
Please, sir. And I mean, for like most dementia, Alzheimer patients, they're really reasonable as long as you're kind of going with like their story. Like my grandfather.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was pregnant with Faith. When right before my grandfather passed, and he kept telling me, "Oh, you have a baby, you have a baby, you have a baby." And I'm like, he's had Alzheimer's for 5 years. I'm just gonna,
because sometimes, because if you like say like agree with them and stuff, they don't get as aggressive. It's like when you're like trying to tell them like no or whatever. But he just didn't want to sit still was his problem. So I was just like, but you got to though. So
and I think a lot of hospitals need to invest in the like. Do you remember the busy belt or the busy vest they used to have? So it's like I wouldn't say it's a vest, but it's like something they can like lay on top of them. And it has like a zipper on it, but you can't undo the zipper. It has a zipper, it has a tie, it has like...
it's like something to keep them busy, basically. Yes. Okay.
Like something for babies for the motor skills.
Right, yeah, I know exactly
and
what you're talking about.
And it is like super, super smart because, I mean, honestly...
They need something to do. They can't sit still.
I can only give so many towels to these patients before they're like, all right.
Right, and I don't like medicating them when they're not like aggressive or anything like that. Some people do that. Like I don't think that's right, but some people will be like they'll medicate them so that they could just sit down. But I'm like, there's nothing wrong with them. They just need something to do.
And if you tie them down, it just pisses them off even more.
Yeah, that's true too. So that was one time I was scared, and that actually reminded me of that other time when Angie was dealing with that patient. Do you remember that?
I know exactly who you're talking about.
So we had a coworker. She was dealing with the dementia patient too, and he actually got physical with her, and he like kind of like threw her on his bed. I'm like, that shit. If that would have been me, I would have been like, I would have been scared, and I would have just been like, what is happening here?
And it's like, I think a lot of the times you have to sometimes you have to act like a mom to most of these patients.
Yeah.
You have to get that mom voice going and be like, excuse me.
Yeah, you have to speak up and be like stern.
Who are you doing? Or what are you doing? Who do you think you are?
You got to have like a commanding type of voice so that they're like, oh, okay. But I was like, oh my goodness, the stuff that we deal with.
And honestly, our security don't do nothing anyways.
And sometimes it takes them a long time to get upstairs.
I mean...
I'm like, okay, like, I needed you 5 minutes ago.
They literally just like, why? I've seen them. Just
la-di-da-di-da.
Just like, oh yeah, we have to go to four on this side. That's my floor. Why? I'm running now. And they're just still chilling, just slowly making their way up. I'm like, oh fuck. I'm like, Lainey, what's going on?
You have any other stories?
Yes. So
I figured she'd have a lot.
Oh, I got tons. This is a funny one. So this happened I think it was 4th of July or New Year's. Either way, fireworks were involved. I come from little bit of Hicktown. So I had homeboy come in that night, and he happened to he was drunk as shit.
Mm.
He was hammered. Like he forgot to throw the firework that he lit.
Oh.
Yeah. So so he's missing a hole in his hand.
Oh
His
my
thumb is
goodness.
hanging on by literally a
Oh, okay.
tendon.
No.
Literally a tendon, like it is a hole in a tendon.
That's crazy.
It is so cool. It was awesome.
Sometimes I wish I could take pictures of the stuff we see.
Seriously.
But I'm like, that's
That's
inappropriate.
inappropriate.
But
I mean, he
honestly, I
probably
feel
wouldn't
like
have
I'm about to
cared.
say, honestly, some of them be like, we take pictures on their phones because they want to see what it looks like. I'm
like,
kind of like, can I
take
take
a
one
picture
too?
too?
Like,
Like, I won't get your face or your armband.
right.
But anyways, this dude blows the hole in his hand, gets to the hospital, comes up to our floor. Thanksgiving, 4th of July and New Year's are always like a big surgery nights for us.
Yeah.
So the surgery's full. So basically, we just have him. We're chilling. He's just hanging out. Tell me why this man decides at this point in time was the time to propose to his girlfriend.
Wait, what? That's not where I thought this was going.
No, yeah, Hickville Bobby decides he's gonna propose to his girlfriend, and I'm sitting there as this happens. I'm like putting pressure on his hand, about to wrap it, and I'm just like,
Okay.
what? I look at his girlfriend, and she is about to lose her mind on this man. I was like, bro, I don't think today's a good day to do this.
Try again tomorrow.
I'm like, maybe wait till you're out of here. And he's like, oh no, she loves me. She loves me. I'm like, no.
He had some of those good
Oh,
drugs.
yeah. Between that and the alcohol, he was,
I'm
he
like,
was fabulous. I'm like, bro, you're about to go into a surgery where they're gonna attempt to save your hand.
you know, well,
You're not gonna have one.
I'm
in
like,
the
I feel
morning.
like that's happened like something like that on Grace before too, where like they propose before they go into surgery or something like that. No, you still need to do a new one when you get home.
Yeah,
a real one.
Oh my god.
You still need to do it again.
And like the fact that like 3 days later, like, because I was off the next couple days and I came back, it was about 3 days off, so I came back the next night and I was like, hey, you remember me? He goes,
Nope.
So you remember remember proposing to your girlfriend? He's like, I can't live that down, can I? He's like, I don't even know you and you already know the story. I go, oh, I was
there.
Right next to you.
I was there when it
I
happened.
was right next to your head. He's like, so were you the little voice in my head telling me to shut up? I was like, oh yeah. That was me.
Not the little voice in my head.
I was like, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. Don't. Why
now? I have one where we were in the ER and I hate ER people are so funny sometimes. So I was minding my business and like I was floating into the ER and they're like, Lanicia, come here, like Lainey, come here. And then I'm like, what? And then why it was a patient masturbating in her room. A female patient, legs wide open.
Ew.
I was like, I didn't need to see that.
I'm glad you felt the need to share, but you could have.
I didn't want to see that.
You could have just said that.
I'm like, why?
Like, I don't. Why?
Why?
I've had a male.
I'm scarred.
I've had a male do that when I was on trauma too, and I was just like, "Are you?"
I just don't understand. And then when I work night shifts, I used to always wait before coming into the room because who knows what the hell they're doing before you come in. Like, I think one time I caught someone and they were like watching porn or something like that. And I'm like, so now I used to knock, wait, peep in a little bit.
Like,
and
hey,
then
you good? You decent?
Because I'm like, the things that people do in the hospital is beyond me.
Like, they really think they're at home.
I'm like, really anybody could walk in at any moment. Not only that, I'm like, in the ER, there's like literally no privacy. So what are you doing?
You got a curtain.
I'm pretty sure she was like kind of like a psych patient. You know how sometimes they're hypersexual? Mm-hmm. I think she was like a psych patient. She wasn't mine, but it was some other stuff they were telling me. And I'm like, I think she's one of them. But I was just like, oh, thanks for that. Thanks for that. Guys. Didn't need to see that.
Like, I'm a little off put. Thank you very much.
Didn't need to see that. So it was funny because I was looking through my Facebook and then I didn't realize that I asked this nursing group the same thing a long time ago, like a year ago, about having scary moments in the in nursing. So I had posted one of my stories on there and I completely forgot about it. But one time I had this patient who kept trying to tell me that there was somebody else in the room. And I was like, what are you talking about? Well, I didn't really say it like that, but I was just like, is there? Like,
Like, hello.
like, where are they?
Please let me know.
And they're like, they're on the wall. You don't see that? So they were saying that throughout the night. Every time I come in the room, and I'd be like, okay, whatever. And so why towards the end of the night, I realized that they were talking about the scanner on the wall. Like the scanner light was hitting the wall and it was making it kind of look like a face.
Oh my God.
And that's what they were talking about the entire time. But I was just like, oh my God, goodness, really? Because I'm like, is there a man following me I don't know about? Like
I've had a couple since, so when we were also, or when I was still on trauma, we also would take a lot of the psych patients.
Mm-hmm.
We were overflow for psych because we were a 53 bed unit. Like we had beds for days. And I had a lot of people telling me, oh, so-and-so's here, or this person's here with me. And a lot of them, they were older people, they broke their pelvic or whatever. So, we would take them in and, rehabilitate them. They're, oh, my son's here, or my granddaughter's here, or, this, that, and the other thing. And I think the creepiest one I had was, I had a older, I don't know if he was a priest or some type of clergy. And he was like, yeah, there's the nun sitting right there. And I was like, oh, I'm Catholic.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. You have a nun. Great. This is going to be a good night.
Mm-hmm.
This is not going to be a good night. Because it was not the nun that I was thinking of. It was like the bloody nun or whatever she is.
Oh, no.
From the movie. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I actually never watched that movie.
No, neither have I. Faith has.
Huh.
She likes it.
I like scary movies, period. So I'm actually surprised I hadn't watched it. I think I intended to and just never got around to it.
Apparently it's really good. But Homeboy kind of, scarred me from wanting to watch it. So I didn't walk in that room without throwing every single light on the entire time. Because I don't get scared easily.
Yeah.
But the way he was like describing this woman, he was like, oh yeah, she's literally sitting right here and she has blood everywhere and she's just crying blood. And she keeps saying, she's going to kill me, she's going to kill me, she's going to kill me. And I'm like, all right. I'm going to go now. Thanks.
Right. You just don't know what to say to situations like that. It's like,
internally, I'm freaking the fuck out. But externally, I have to be real, just like, all right. So that's how it's going to go. I'm not coming back in here again. That's literally what I wanted to tell him. No. I was on for like another 2 nights.
Really?
No, not happening.
So that same post I was telling you about, it had like 500 comments on there. Different stories. So I'm going to read one.
Let's see some of these.
Yeah. So one person said, I had a patient who was learning oriented. At least that's what she thought. Until she would yell at her husband, Ricky, in the room that I couldn't see. She would point and I never saw him until one day she asked me, could he eat breakfast with her? And I asked her, where was he? And she pointed to him in an urn with the picture. I said, damn, he really was in here.
Oh, shit. All right. Damn.
We really be pretending like nothing is happening. Like, we're like, oh, okay. That's kind of crazy because you never know if somebody's like, are they like mental or are they just a little bit confused?
Are they like serious?
Yeah, I'm like, okay, like, how am I supposed to say this?
And especially if it's like your first time having them.
Yeah, I'm like, you don't know what to do. So it's just like, all right. So this other person said that she received a patient who came from another hospital. The charge nurse received the patient from the ambulance because she was busy and she settled her in. She came in afterwards to admit her. When she got into the room, she said that her husband just came in and was waiting to take her home. She thought her husband was really in the hospital with her, maybe in the lobby or using the bathroom. I told her that he can't take her home tonight. I stepped out to speak to my charge nurse about her husband when she told me that the woman's husband died about a week and a half ago. Then she said, oh Lord, she said she went back in her room and she said her husband was sitting in the chair next to her bed. She looked at the chair and told her husband to please come back after my shift, but not tonight. She said she looked at me and said that he said he will come in the morning at 7 a.m. I gave my report to the oncoming nurse and told her my ordeal and she laughed. Oh my goodness, hold on. Plot twist. She was on her way to the parking lot when she heard a code blue called for that patient, and she passed on just after her shift.
Oh shit.
That's crazy.
I mean, it's crazy. Like, we've heard these stories so many times, and a lot of people, like people that aren't,
Yeah.
that don't work in the hospital, wouldn't believe it. And we're like, oh, like, I've never believed in ghosts and spirits more than
See, yeah, I'm
from
like
working in
you.
a hospital.
I'm like, yeah, because I'm like, it's some like I'm like, shoot, maybe it's real. I don't know. Maybe they seeing something else. See.
But like, what's the coincidence, or how I
Yeah,
couldn't
that
even,
is true.
I couldn't even like believe that would be a coincidence that she literally coded at 7 o'clock in the morning.
That's crazy.
Come back after my shift, but not why I'm here. Like, that is insane.
I swear I be seeing people walk around the hospital sometimes.
That really right there.
Especially at night shift. I'd be like, well, as long as they don't bother me, we're good.
Yeah, we're good.
If y'all have any scary moments or gross moments from working in the hospital, y'all let us know down in the comments.
Oh, I got one more gross one.
Okay,
I
go.
haven't done a gross one, or real gross one. So we had one night, I was still working night shift. I would work specifically Thursday night through Sunday night. That's it. I was off the rest of the week because Thursday through Sunday on trauma is the best time to work. You get all the nitty gritty.
And when she say best, she really means worse.
The worst, literally. I've never worked so much in my entire life, but it was so much fun because you literally get to see everything. So we had this one kid come in, gunshot wound. He ended up having to be in traction. 17 years old. This kid loses his full ride 4-year scholarship for basketball to Alabama.
Dang.
Full ride scholarship. He was in traction on his left leg. He had fractured femur on his right leg.
Damn.
Yeah, all because he wanted to like go hang out with his friends. His dad came in. His dad is 7'4".
Dang.
This kid's 17 years old. So we're pulling traction on him. Well, apparently one of the screws for the traction on his left leg like came a little bit loose. So you just have blood just start like squirting out. Thank God. I'm holding the traction. I'm like, woo, I'm not tall enough for this man. I'm gonna stand down here. And the doctor is like standing like just like it is rain falling down his scrub top. And I'm just like, that's really cool. And this kid is screaming.
I bet. Murder. Oh my goodness.
And the doctor was like, all right, let's give him morphine. Let's give him something. Let's, IV, do it right now. And the dad was like, no.
Oh, hell no.
Dad said, absolutely not. He wanted to go out and be stupid. He wanted to, because he was pretty much, they were thinking he was going to be paralyzed. Like, he wasn't going to be moving.
That's sad. You ruin your whole life in like one moment.
Mm-hmm. And this happened, I wanted to say it was like February or March. And he would have graduated in May.
Damn.
Like, Dad said, nah.
Nope. He needs to feel every consequence.
No pain. Like, luckily, I think eventually he made a full recovery. But he still lost his 4-year.
That's what to say. Even if you recover, I'm like, that scholarship is gone.
It's gone.
Because you won't be up to par to where you were before after all that.
Oh, no. And, like, he was age 17, almost 18 years old. Full ride scholarship. I mean, that was nasty, too. Like, just the amount of blood he lost. Like, he was a dark black guy. When you see his color start to change from
that's
the
how
amount
you
of
know.
blood loss, like, it was bad. Like, I see, like, you've seen one. No, wait, were you there? We had one of our guys on our floor ended up coding one morning. I literally was just walking in. There was something wrong with his port, and as they were doing compressions on him, it was just like,
I wasn't there for that.
Shoot, this happened to actually. No, no, you were at the hospital. You were just on a different floor.
Okay.
But yeah, it was just like
shooting out blood
everywhere every time they started, and it was just whoop. And it was our favorite night shift group that was there.
Yeah, all of night shift is our favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Blood doesn't really bother me. I think the thing that bothers me most is
NG tubes, insertions.
Maybe GI bleeds.
So yeah, I'm not really. It doesn't bother me. It's like mucus and throw up. I don't.
I'm better with throw up than I thought I was, but some GI bleeds I smelled, I'm like, okay, that shit is nasty.
Literally.
But some of it is okay. Some of them are like, okay, that's not that bad. But some of them are like potent, and I'm like, ooh. Also,
See,
very thick sputum.
yes.
Like the kind where you're trying to suction it, and it's just like sticking together, and it won't really go up. I'm like, I hate that I gotta do this, but
I hate suctioning. That is one thing I'm going to never. Nope. I'm sorry. I will pass that shit off.
he like
hey,
RT. You're calling RT.
Hey, they need to be suctioned. Can't you? No.
Yeah,
I really can't.
I'm okay with it for the most part, but when it's like a certain consistency it gets, that's the kind I'm like, I don't know. I'm like,
or deep suction on trach patients.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I'm like,
no. Give me poop, wound care, all of that. Give it wounds. I'll take it.
Poop doesn't bother me, but I don't like when poop is caked onto the person and you're like having to keep wiping, and
then you start doing this scrubbing motion.
I don't like that.
I'm like, sorry.
When it's caked on like that, especially on men with the balls and stuff. Oh, I don't. And you're literally like just wipe.
And you're literally you pick up the scrotum and then you're kind of just like going like this.
Yeah,
and then you got to worry about an entire back end because then you gotta do that side.
Yeah. I'm like, can you just go take a shower? Like,
can we just hose you off real fast?
Because I don't like that.
No.
So I want you to build your perfect tech with 5 characteristics.
Damn. Okay. So not lazy. Very hardworking. That's going to be the first one. Hardworking. Match my sarcasm level. Need you to...
That's your perfect tech?
Yes. Because I'm not going to be with a peppy, oh my goodness, good morning. No. We're going to chill. We're going to have a good time.
You know, sometimes that is very annoying when you get onto the shift and it's like someone's like,
good morning.
Very, very loud and keeps trying to talk to you. And it's like, stop talking to me right now. I don't even want to talk to the patients at this point. Don't want to talk to you.
No. Time management is another one.
Yes.
I need that time management done. Work ethic. Like, we're gonna work together. It's gonna be a great day. Yes, we can bitch about it because it's gonna suck. But hey,
we're gonna get through it. Yeah.
And 5th one would have to be a sense of humor. Because you can't get by on this job without a sense of humor. I need those qualities.
You cannot work with me unless these are the qualifications to work with Sydney.
I need you to be hardworking, have a good work ethic, be sarcastic, be on time, and be sarcastic. And it's great. It's
be
fine.
Sarcastic twice.
Literally. I forgot what the other one was.
It was humor.
Oh yeah, humorous.
They go together.
You gotta have a dark sense of humor.
I feel like most healthcare workers, well, I'll say like half. A lot of us do have dark senses of humor. Because I was talking to one of my patients about that. I'm like, it's kind of like a keep laughing to keep from crying type of thing.
Yes.
So before we get out of here, we're gonna scrub and sip. So we're gonna scrub a negative experience that we've had in like healthcare, and then we're gonna like cheers to like a good one. We got a lot of negative experiences.
Oh, okay. I think we're gonna need some more of this.
Yep. I'm trying to think if I have any.
Actually, I got a couple. Actually, I got one that really pisses me off.
Recently?
Don't tell me how to do my job.
Okay.
Like, do not come after me and be like, oh. Like, it's the beginning of shift. I'm just getting there. Everyone knows. Just give me, like, the first 15 minutes to just figure out what I gotta do, plan my day, and go. Don't come up to me. Okay, I have this patient with you, this patient with you, and this patient with you. We're gonna do this, and don't forget when the suction canister is full for the PureWicks that we need to empty them out, and that you need to do Foley care, and that you need to do this care and that care. And I'm just like looking at her like,
why are you doing all of this?
I've been here for 3 years. I know what to do.
And you've worked with them before,
I've
right?
literally worked with you
Because I'm
for
like, the only way I'm like, kind of like, all right, I kind of get it.
if it's
Is
someone
it?
new.
Yeah. And even then, I don't. I try to see first, like, what they're going to do because it can be annoying, especially when I got my own shit to do. I'm not trying to check after you. And then when you don't do it, then I'd be like, hey, or
Didn't you say we were gonna do this?
maybe you don't. Maybe I'd be trying to give people the benefit of the doubt because if I just assume, I'm going to get upset. So I'd be like, oh, hey, maybe they don't know. Hey, did you know that 454 was blood sugars? Oh, no. Oh,
I
okay.
didn't
Yeah. And I'm
know.
like, all right, well, do you mind getting it? Type thing. But I be trying. I have to give so many benefits of the doubt because if I just jump to the other side, I'm going to be pissed.
Oh, I'm already jumped to that other side. We already know. I don't have an in between.
I be trying.
I'm happy or I'm pissed.
I be trying. So I'd be like, maybe they don't know. Or maybe it's a new patient. Maybe they didn't hear when I said this. I be trying.
No, but I've been working with this nurse for 3 years now.
That type of stuff is like,
know.
okay, what makes today different than any other day?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I think I'm trying to think if I've had any negative experiences lately. I really be ignoring people now, so I just be like, I'm not going to see you again tomorrow. So please get out of my face.
It helps that you're not consistently on the same exact floor.
Yeah,
every single time.
yeah, that's what helps out a lot because I'm like, I can like brush it off more easily because I'm like, I'm not going to see you tomorrow, or I don't care, or whatever. So I can't think of anyone that I've had recently, but I'm sure there's one that I just probably erased out of my head as soon as the shift was over.
Do you have a charge nurse?
Yeah.
Do you even have a charge nurse?
Yeah, but what I can't sip to is that I like ER because I can get out of there real fast. Like most of the time, all the patients go up towards the end of the shift. Y'all know how it is on the floor. You start getting this influx. Yeah, you start getting this influx of patients coming from the ER. So I'm like sending them up. So by the time ER, like it's time to go, I might have like 1 or 2 patients or something like that. So then I'm like, all right, cool. I'm giving a report and I'm out of there like 7 o'clock. I'm sipping to that because I'd be like, hey, I hate on the floor now when it takes so long. So I guess that could be my scrub because some of these nurses don't know how to give report and they talk way too long. And then I hate the ones that do assessments during report. No.
That's your job after.
You do that on your own time. And I'm like, oh, I also hate when people cut me off during report. Okay, that's that too. Because I'm like, I will tell you everything you need to know. Just shut up. Just shut up. I'm first telling you, oh, this is Billy Bob, 54-year-old female from home, came in with this. Do they have an IV? Do they do the? Hold on.
I'm literally just telling you the name. Can you give me
I'm like, yeah, wait, and then ask if I missed something. I hate when people cut me off.
And then they're too busy looking at their report that they're trying to ask you questions that you've already answered.
That part. Because most of the time, stuff they ask me, I'm like, hey, did you remember when I just said that they had a 20 gauge in their right AC and there's normal saline going through it?
Are they COVID?
Yeah.
That's the best. Are they COVID positive? Well, if you would just listen, I told you they're negative for COVID.
Yeah, I hate that.
They're positive for the flu, but negative for COVID.
Yeah, I more so hate that because most of the time it's stuff that I've already said and you just wasn't paying attention. So I'm going to scrub that. But I'm sipping to leaving work at a decent hour in ER because on the floor sometimes I'm like waiting. It's like 7:45. I'm like, okay, where's the nurse? Hello, where are you?
Hi, hello. We're going. Come on, let's go.
Let's go. I'm ready to go home. Oh, I just need to do one thing. No. There's nothing you need to do but go in this room with me. Thanks. You have anything you want to sip to?
When I work with my group of people. When I have a good group of people I'm working with,
it doesn't matter.
Day goes by. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter what happens.
Like, oh, that's the other thing I want to tell you. We had a code the other day and a rapid at the same exact time.
That's fun.
No. Everyone was off except for me and Susan.
Oh. That wasn't fun. That was dangerous.
No, very. Very. And pharmacy was running the code.
Huh?
Yeah.
So I guess it was worth them getting ACLS certified because there were some people there in ACLS class, and I'm like, why are you here?
Yeah, pharmacy came up and ran the code, and we were just like,
wow. Who would have thought?
They didn't do a very good job.
I mean, they don't have direct patient care. No experience, so I wouldn't expect them to.
Are we going to give epi? And who was it? It was a new NP. He was up, and he was just like, well, I would hope so. And I'm just like,
Well, you need to be the one running the code, NP.
Well, he was trying to, but the pharmacy kept like stepping over him for medication. They're like, okay, we're gonna give 5 milligrams.
And really, pharmacy should know the medication is seeing as though
Mm-hmm.
their pharmacy.
You would think.
Okay.
But they kept trying to like they had just started compressions, like not even like 30 seconds in. Are we giving epi yet? And he was like, after 2 minutes we will.
People need to know their like spot. They don't know their role.
Mm-mm.
I'm like defer to NP. I was thinking like nobody was there.
Oh no, everyone showed up.
Cause I'm like at that point, then okay, it makes sense. Whoever's available to do it, then do it. But once like it's a doctor or NP in there, I'm like, oh, y'all got it.
You take care.
Yep, you got it. ICU nurse, ER nurse, whoever. If they're like that, I'm like, oh, y'all got it.
Yeah,
I segue. Out. Yep. I'm like, what you need me to do?
Oh, compressions. I can do that.
Yeah, I segue real quick. I do not want to be responsible.
Mm-mm.
So wait, did you tell me what you were sipping to?
Yeah, having a good crew.
Okay, I was about to say I got so distracted.
That's what started my second.
So we're gonna cheers. Final review of the Halloween sangria. Not too shabby.
Little pulpy.
Mm-hmm.
But not bad.
Next time I'll have to be careful with stirring the fruit because I think that's what broke it apart.
Is it even or just like strain it after you sit it for a night or chill it for
right, yeah, exactly. But honestly, I don't really feel like it made much of a taste difference.
Mm-mm.
I don't know if it actually even did anything. So I have to experiment and try it again to see if it did or didn't. Because I'm like, I don't think you did anything by sitting in there like that. But hey, what can we do? Hopefully you guys enjoyed the episode. I know Sydney will be back with something else one of these days.
Always.
So go ahead and like the video if you like it. If you're just listening, like it. Share with somebody. We'll be posting follow-ups on Instagram, and we'll see you guys next time.